So today we're going to talk about the third video in our master series, Silent Treatment. You don't need to watch them in any order, but I'm going to talk about the third way that our chart could be impacted and we could be on the receiving end of a silent treatment. So definitely check out all the other videos, but you can watch this video independent of any of the other ones. Have you ever felt the deepest sting of love's betrayal? When your spouse or your partner goes silent, it's not just a lack of communication. It feels like they're deliberately withholding love from you. This is the heart of the matter. We're talking about the shadow of Venus. Venus is the great planet of love, harmony, and connection. And it naturally rules your seventh house. It's the Karaka of the seventh house of partnership. But when Venus energy is operating from its shadow, it turns its greatest gifts into weapons. The silent treatment is Venusian punishment, withholding affection, withdrawing harmony, and creating a cold emotional space. This is your profound seventh house lesson in mature love. Today, we're going to stop reacting to the silence and understand the shadow dynamics at play. We will learn how to shift this pattern from a toxic game of emotional blackmail to a relationship that's based on respect, clarity, and true adult love. Let's talk about where the spiritual error is. What is the spiritual error? It's withholding love. It's taking your love into a locked box and putting it away. To understand the silent treatment, we must first understand the spiritual error of the Venus shadow. The highest expression of Venus is unconditional giving of beauty, grace, and love. But the shadow of Venus is about withholding and transactional love. The spouse giving the silent treatment is saying, I will only grant you harmony when you meet my demands or when you suffer enough to apologize. They're turning the gift of connection into a conditional reward. Now, this also exposes the weakness in your own first house. If you panic when their love, the Venus, the seventh house energy is withdrawn, when their love is withdrawn, it means you've made their affection a transactional necessity for your survival. You feel you must earn back their communication to be okay. Your spiritual assignment is to break the cycle of transactional love. You must refuse to buy back their attention with chasing, pleading, or excessive apologies. The moment you refuse to chase, you stop validating the silent treatment as a valid form of communication. It is not a valid form. So what is the solution to this Venusian shadow? Well, it's called the Venusian Antidote, which is grace and non-engagement. It's observe. Don't absorb. It's focusing on self-nurture. So the only way to defeat a shadowy Venusian tactic is with a higher form of Venusian strategy, which is grace, self-nurture, and refusal to participate in the lack of harmony. What's step one? Observe. Don't absorb, like I said. The silent treatment is designed to make you feel guilty and responsible for their bad mood. Your higher Venusian response is grace. Observe their silence without absorbing the guilt. Mentally remind yourself their silence is their choice of coping, not my guilt to carry. This detachment preserves your emotional harmony, which is the sacred domain of Venus. So what is step two? Step two is the graceful boundary statement. You must break the silence with a statement of maturity, not emotion. This is about clarifying the limit of your service. Your boundary must sound like this: I respect your need for space. When you're ready to speak calmly about the issue, I'm here. Until then, I will not discuss anything or chase your silence. You can email this message to them or write it to them, hand them on a piece of paper. You can text it to them or say it to them. Whatever works best for you. Leave it in a voicemail. Whatever works best for you if you're not on active speaking terms. This is powerful because it uses Venusian clarity to set a limit, removing the emotional charge while leaving the door open for productive dialogue. Step 3 is focus on self-nurture by art and beauty, which is Venus domains. Venus is also the planet of beauty, art, and comfort. Use the silent time, not for wallowing, but for self-soothing and self-nurture. Listen to beautiful music, create something, or beautify your own personal space. When you actively generate your own harmony and beauty, you prove that your happiness doesn't rely on the seventh house supply. You replenish your own Venusian well. Imagine how beautiful that is. Now let's talk about part 4. It's the Mars strategy, asserting the terms of love. You go from Venus to Mars, where Venus is all love, nurture. Mars is set the boundary. So the seventh house axis is where Venus and its opposing energy Mars meet. Since Venus rules the seventh house in the Kalpurish Kundali, and Mars rules the first house in the Kalpurish Kundali. So Mars would be the opposing energy to Venus. So to move from the shadow of Venus, you need a dose of Mars-like courage, not aggression, okay, but assertion. What is the Mars challenge? The silent spouse is communicating their anger and disappointment passively. Your challenge is to communicate your self-respect actively. So what is the Mars solution? Use short, declarative, and respectful statements to define the acceptable form of communication. For example, you'll say, if you have an issue, you need to use your words. Silence is not an acceptable form of communication in this marriage. I will wait for your words, not your withdrawal. Perfect statement. This uses the courage of Mars to enforce the mature relationship terms established by high-level Venus energy. You're demanding a relationship where conflict is handled with mutual respect, not passive aggression. You're using the Mars energy of the first house to protect the Venus harmony of the seventh house. This is a transformation from codependence to co-respect. So, what does all of this teach us? This is going to make your Venus shine brightly, which is love. The silent treatment is painful because it uses the currency of love to create debt. It's a powerful lesson delivered by the shadow of Venus. Your victory is achieved by embracing higher Venusian qualities, which are what? Grace, self-nurture, and clear and respectful boundaries. You must transform your relationship from a transactional dependency to a union of two whole, sovereign individuals. Understand that your spouse is a key player in your soul contract. Before this life, you both agreed to face this specific karmic challenge. The challenge of learning mature love and unconditional self-worth. The silence is the pressure point that's designed to break the cycle of dependency that your soul is ready to shed. By applying grace and assertion, you are fulfilling the highest terms of this contract, not by changing your partner, but by evolving yourself. The moment you declare your emotional sovereignty and refuse to participate in the toxic game, you dissolve the old pattern. You're not just saving a marriage, you're elevating your entire soul journey to a higher vibrational frequency where unconditional love, free from emotional manipulation, can finally exist. So, as always, here are your assignments. First, I want to know, tell me in the comments, what is the one way you will actively create beauty or comfort for yourself, your first house Venus today, to show that you are self-sufficient? And what is the boundary statement you will use? Second, let's turn this knowledge into action. Do one good deed of the day today for someone less fortunate, someone that needs it. Channel that difficult emotional energy into selfless service, seva. And finally, share this video with as many people as you can who are also struggling with difficult relationship dynamics. This message is critical for soul evolution. The more you share, the more you make your own chart better. Knowledge is meant to be shared, and that's what I'm doing for you. Of course, if you'd like to connect with us, you can schedule a consultation via the link in the About section. And remember to keep watching this series on silent treatment. This is a 7-part series. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave comments, and don't forget to share this video with someone that needs it. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get all the future updates of all the new videos that I will be making in this series of silent treatment. Perhaps one of them is going to even work more with your chart in addition to this video. Thank you very much for watching.